There's something that happens frequently when someone you love has died. Those at the center of the loss often end up being the grief host for those around them. And while this is so wrong, it happens naturally. So this video is going to explore the wisdom inherent in the model of the ring theory for bereavement. I'm Jo McRogers, a registered social worker who's dedicated to supporting grief. If you are watching, I send support for your loss, and I am also so glad that you have found us here. Our goal is to do grief differently. Life guarantees death, of that we can be sure. So how do we show up for our friends and family and support them in their time of grief and need? And how do we seek support in our time of need? A clinical psychologist named Susan Silk and her friend Barry Goldman came up with the concept of the ring theory after her experience with breast cancer. Susan observed during her journey with breast cancer treatment that people close to her, as well as complete strangers, though often well-intentioned, would vent or, in an attempt to fix her situation, would offer up advice and opinions to her. But what she came to realize that she needed most when she was suffering was not their emotions about her experience, but rather their comfort. Hence, the idea of the ring theory was born. This model consists of a series of concentric rings with the person or the family in crisis at the center, and each larger ring is holding those next closest to the person. The second ring may include a spouse or parents or siblings of the person in the center. The third ring might include friends, co-workers, or more distant friends. The fourth might include acquaintances, medical professionals, first responders, and then further out could be bystanders. So here are the rules of the ring theory. The person in the center of the ring can say anything they want to anyone, anywhere. They can complain and whine and moan and curse the heavens and ask, why me? They can state that life is unfair. It's honestly the only power of being the one in the center of the ring. They alone get to decide what serves them. Everyone else can say those things too, but only to people in larger rings. So when you are talking to a person in a ring smaller than yours, someone closer to the center of the crisis, the goal is to comfort and support. Listening is often more powerful than talking. This model supports the idea that people who are suffering don't need advice. They need comfort and support in the moment. Do say, I'm sorry, or this must be really challenging for you. Or say, I will bring you a dinner every Tuesday. Or I will walk the dog every morning at 8 a.m. until you tell me to stop. Please don't say to the ring inwards, I know how you feel because this is what happened to me. Or here is what I would do in your situation. Please don't say, this is really hard on me to support you. If you wish to scream and nag and whine and complain, please know that you are allowed to, but you are allowed to only do that to the ring that is larger than the ring that you are in. All of those emotions are perfectly normal and natural when trying to support someone who you love. But please know that the place to express them is outside of your ring. Most of us know the importance of this intuitively. Nobody would complain to the widow about how awful she looks right now. Almost no one would say that looking at the cancer patient makes them think of the fragility of life and their own mortality. We know and care enough not to dump into the center ring, but the emotions of grief can be so ungrounding, so destabilizing, that we risk losing sight of this. The ring theory provides a visual reminder of that intuition and makes it more accessible. It helps us to remember that we can say whatever we want, but we need to wait until we're saying it to someone in the ring that's larger than the ring that we are in. It's important to note that as you grieve, you will likely find that the individuals in these rings shift. You may actually find some of the best support in ring number 3 rather than in ring number 2 from a mother or a sister or an aunt. And please do not underestimate the extent and the power of grief, because you will eventually find yourself to be the one in the center of the rings. So please, grief is the universal experience that we all share. Remember to support in and dump out so that you can role model to others what you are eventually going to need yourself. If you are grieving right now, please draw pen to paper your own rings of support. Know who you can count on. If you are supporting a griever right now, please be sure to know which ring you fit into, where to offer support, and where to dump out. Then tell me, who in your life and in your grief needs to learn about this model? Please share in the comments below so that we can see how broadly this concept needs to be shared. And then hit the share button so that you can send this video to those around you to understand how to best support you. And as you experiment and learn how to use this model to support your grief, I send you kind thoughts, kind words, and a kind heart. Please take care, and I'll see you again.